already. It's rolling. Obviously, we'll cut it.
That's a worry.
Yeah.
Tune into Is It Fast live every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. at GMT. You are welcome.
Hi, I'm Daniel Rowbottom, racing the British Touring Car Championship with Team Dynamics, and you're watching Is It Fast?
Hi guys, it's Nick Hamilton, and you're watching Is It Fast?
It's 7 p.m. It's a Wednesday. Must be time for Is It Fast.
It's 7 p.m. It's a Wednesday, which is time for Is It Fast Live, the weekly show from the team at Is It Fast Media, where we handpick the latest stories from the past 7 days of what's been going on in the automotive, motorsport, and I'm going to call it lifestyle world, so that we can run our very uneducated and opinionated eyes over the stories that we enjoy and bring it to you. If you're watching us, then thank you very much for watching us. We appreciate you using your eyes. If you're listening to us using your podcast distributor of choice, then thank you very much. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're using, make sure that you do follow us on your social media platform of choice to make sure that you catch up with this show live or otherwise, plus the plethora of the other incredible shows that we bring you on Is It Fast on our website and on our social media platforms. We have an awful lot to go through today. So Stu is here to help guide us over the high seas of this show. Hello, mate.
All right, Stu, how we doing, mate?
Yeah.
Good stuff. And I'm pleased to hear it. And a very happy Star Wars Day to you. It is May the 4th, after all.
May the 4th be with you.
Thank you very much. And with you. I do have a Star Wars related question for you, though. Why did Chewbacca fail his driving test?
I was going to make a really nerdy joke about parsecs and Alderaan, but go tell me.
Because he made too many Wookiee errors. There you go. I want to say it gets better, folks, but it really doesn't. Yes, of course, I am Other Stu. Delighted to be here with the Stu that people actually want to speak to on the weekly Is It Fast podcast. Recently, mate, I think you know this, I was coming back from Edinburgh to London on the train. So when I get out of the carriage at King's Cross, I see a young woman carrying a lot of polo gear, like helmet, riding boots, one of those long handle kind of mallet things. I don't know why I'm doing the action. Hopefully someone actually just saw it, not just kind of listening in. She was basically dressed like the guy from the Ralph Lauren logo, but there was one notable exception. So I shout across to her, excuse me, love, I think you left your horse on the train. She just stares back at me. I'd never thought I could hear a pin drop in London's King's Cross, but I reckon I really could have today. And you know what? It really was my mistake because I forgot that banter is where London goes to die. Really there. But tonight we set aside our petty differences, forgetting old feuds and starting new ones. And on that note, welcome to Is It Fast?
Welcome to Is It Fast indeed. And we've just had a viewer comment in asking, what car does Yoda drive?
I don't know. What kind of car does Yoda drive?
A Toyota.
Oh, I like it. But
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
You're
Brian.
tuned in to Is It Fast? And we're live, which is why it's so bad.
We start this week. We're going to rattle through quite a few bits of information. So stay tuned because it's actually worth it. Quick bits of news to start us off. News from Mini this week that they have temporarily stopped production of their manual cars due to supply issues. So they're having issues with getting bits and bobs for their gearbox. According to them, supply chain issues and constraints are the main cause of this due to the ongoing issues that we've seen as a hangover from the pandemic and has been exacerbated, this is in their words, exacerbated by the war in Ukraine and the global semiconductor shortage. So now if you are looking to buy a Mini, the cheapest one that you can get is a 3-door Cooper Classic Auto, so automatic gearbox, costing you 18,815 quid before options, I imagine, compared to the manual, which is 17.5 grand. So you're going to be charged 1,400 quid more. But they are saying that this is just a temporary measure ahead of being able to get whatever you need to make a manual gearbox. Smells suspicious, but I'm sure it's completely fine. They're saying that you'll be able to get a manual again at some point. The manuals are available across their range, apart from in their electric, where obviously it doesn't have a gearbox. So there you go. Just a quick bit of news for you. Probably hang on if you're going to buy a Mini, or try and get 1,400 quid off, because it's not your fault.
Well, either way, yeah. Now, call me stupid, and you often do. I would have thought an automatic would have had a lot more chips in it than a manual. So this whole kind of semiconductor shortage doesn't really make sense to me. I'm a bit skeptical. The automatics are outselling the manuals right now, so the manuals are being withheld. But I am really looking forward to a time where no one can steal my manual car because none of the kids can drive them.
Yeah.
So that's encouraging. But massive, big well done to BMW. A move that makes both the Mini far less appealing to many more people, and at the same time makes it more expensive. It's just kind of a little bit disappointing that there's an industry-wide trend towards offering less choice.
Yeah, manuals.
Rant over. Sorry.
No. I agree with you. I think manuals are, generally speaking, slightly more expensive now as well. So it's just weird. Do you know what? Fair enough. I mean, of the cars I own, 2 of them are automatics. So, whatever it makes life a bit easier. But like you say, I think there's more parts that go into a auto gearbox, but I might be wrong.
I'd have guessed, but yeah.
Yeah, I would have imagined. But there you go. Just a quick heads up. Mini are not going to be offering a manual solution to their vehicles they haven't given it a time frame, which I think is fair enough given the excuses that they're using. But just be aware of it as a consumer. Actual consumer advice. So
are we feeling okay?
I don't know. I think it's a bit of an odd one. But do tell us, is that going to put you off buying a Mini? Do you not care? Because it's just one of those weird things. I think it's just a nice, easy excuse. But there you have it. Minis without the manuals. Presumably it'll still come with a manual so that you can understand how your car works.
Or some Spanish boy called Manuel.
Manuel, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
On these trays. But there we have it. We shall see what comes of it. Consumer advice, sponsored by Is It Fast.
You're tuned in to Is It Fast? And we're live, which is why it's so bad.
I'm really annoyed at that previous section. We should have said Manuel Petit, because then it's Manuel Mini.
Yeah, we did.
French
yeah.
footballer. Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah. Oh well. Next time. We're getting to the end of this series, and I think people can tell. Continuing with the general updates for car people, which is what we all are, generally speaking. Ineos, the company owned by British multi-billionaire who is involved in lots of different stuff. We spoke about it before. They released information and cars and tests on their not Defender, the Grenadier, threatening to give us prices over the last little while. Well, they have done so. The Ineos Grenadier full price and spec have been revealed. So, if you want a Grenadier 4x4, Bogo, it's going to cost you £49,000. It's going on sale in the UK on the 18th of May and is available as both a commercial motor vehicle and as a passenger car. Now, do your research on the Ineos Grenadier. It's quite an interesting idea. You can hose down the interior, all sorts of stuff that you used to be able to do with the Defender and the original Range Rover. If you want a 5-seat passenger version, priced from £52,000, matches towing and winching ability as the Land Rover Defender 110. It's got more load capacity, 77 litres more than the Land Rover Defender 110. So, the interesting comparison there for people. And the top of the line are a pair of special editions developed in partnership with Ineos-owned clothing brand Belstaff. Never heard of Belstaff. I'm probably not wealthy enough. Both priced at £59,000, equipped with many optional extras as standard, including front park assist, reversing camera, electrically adjustable heated mirrors, and a raised air intake for going through the lakes on the way to dropping your kids off at school. And Ineos has partnered with Bosch to provide after-sale support and has opened 14 service-only facilities across the UK, or they've partnered with 14 service-only facilities in the UK. And if you want to buy one, they have partnered with a number of showrooms around the country, including a Ford one in Portsmouth and I think an Audi one in Tunbridge Wells, which makes perfect sense for who's going to be buying this. So there you go, the Ineos Grenadier, the much more utilitarian option available to people. They're thinking that people are actually going to buy these to traverse fields and stuff. But now we have a release date and a price list, which was basically all that was missing.
Yeah, that's kind of all we needed, really. Absolutely perfect for the impending zombie apocalypse, or if I decide to buy land and a load of sheep. I'm really kind of struggling to kind of see why we need a passenger road interpretation of this. Shape-wise, it's basically the Land Rover Defender 110 Country or Heritage, whichever. It doesn't matter. There's really no difference. If you see one of the Grenadiers on the street, you can be most definitely forgiven for saying that it's a Land Rover farmer vehicle. They are getting into a lot of dealerships and things like that, as you said, Audi, BMW, Ferrari. They reckon that the aim is to be within 45 minutes of an official location for buying one for kind of anybody in the country, which is some stretch. What is quite cool, though, is that the Grenadiers are predominantly built to order. So this means that there won't be kind of proactively building stock. So that's kind of quite interesting. But I really don't see the customer base for these. It's a great story, as you say, but people looking at these are those obsessed with Defenders and the tatty old Land Rovers, and they'll continue to just want to buy those for me. And also start at £49,000. Now, okay, it does sound like an affordable workhorse to me, but I don't know if the average farmer and I have a completely different idea of what affordable is. Like, you can get the Toyota Hilux for about £30,000, give or take.
No, I'll take that one.
Yeah, so there's that option. And farmers don't buy these new, and farmers are normally very, very good at haggling. We all know this. And they kind of keep them working and running for years and years until they literally fall apart, and then they can just repair them on the farm. So I don't really see where the Grenadiers market is. Fair play to them, but yeah, it looks very smart.
I think they'll sell a few, if I'm honest with you. But I think not much more than that, if I'm honest. But you never know. I'm willing to be completely and totally proved wrong on the Grenadier, but like you say, best part of 50 grand just to get started with. I mean, I quite like them. I don't think I would use one within our business, to be honest, but I think it'll probably have its customer base, and that's all that matters.
First customers are getting their deliveries final quarter of this year, and they're kind of aiming for peak sales of about 6,000. So that's okay. That's all right. Doable. It's not, it's not
considering it's a brand, yeah, exactly. But considering it's a brand new car manufacturer, who traditionally, it's a hard thing to enter the market. We've seen this before. How many manufacturers have entered the market and then died a death pretty quickly? So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But do tell us, are you one of those people that would be or are considering getting an Ineos Grenadier? If so, what are you going to use it for? Potentially, are you going to have it for its sheep carrying and lugging abilities? The fact that you can hose it down? Or are you basically just going to get a Defender? Because let's be honest, that's probably what most people have ended up doing. The Ineos Grenadier starting at £49,000 and available near the end of the year. Not for me. I know no one asked, but I like the idea. But I'm all right.
Yeah,
that's where I sit on it.
And now some more stuff from Is It Fast? Yay!
Okay, consumer advice over. Time for opinions, everybody, and a little bit more. Everybody,
time for us to shine.
Yeah, that's it. Baseless base, base. I can't even finish it.
Baseless, pointless, one of the other.
Baseless, pointless. So, motorsport. All the octane, high fueled octane world they're in, or the lack of octane. I don't know what octane means. We saw over the last few days the world of Formula E. We love it. So Formula E, while they were at Monaco, and we'll talk about that in a second, they unveiled their third generation, Gen 3 of car. So Formula E invited all sorts of weird and wonderful people out to Monaco to observe the unveiling of this car. Many influencers. We were not invited. Thanks very much. Wouldn't have gone anyway, mate. I was busy. But they unveiled this. Now, the Formula car, over the space of the last, 8, 9, 10 years now, has been progressively getting more and more impressive. So this has been designed with street racing in mind. Makes perfect sense. Formula E takes part mainly on street circuits. It's got a new motor setup, produces 470 brake horsepower. Top speed is claimed to be north of 200 miles an hour. That is madness. It's the first Formula car to feature separate powertrains at the front and rear, meaning its regenerative capability has improved to 600 kilowatts, which is more than double what the current car has. Don't really know what that means, but sounds impressive. The addition of front motor means that there's now no need for hydraulic brakes at the rear. Cool. Great. That sounds great. It benefits from ultra rapid charging, which means it can be recharged during a race. Now, this is actually quite interesting from trickle down technology perspective. You know, if this can be implemented at the upper echelons of world motorsport, then surely it will get to road cars before we know it. And then sustainability has been bolstered. So batteries will be recycled and reused when they're not needed anymore. Linen and recycled carbon fiber make up much of the bodywork to reduce the carbon's footprint by more than 10% against the current model. And 26% of each of the tyres, meanwhile, will be composed of natural rubber and recycled fibers. So the new Formula E third generation car. Thoughts on a postcard, please, audience. If you're listening to us, it looks like the old one, only more wedgy. But this is cool, right? I mean, this is continuous. It moving further away from an F1 car, which I think it needs, while simultaneously developing a car specifically for its championship. Wicked, very cool.
Yeah, very much so. They do have a bit of a weird shape. It looks like one of those old handheld razor holders that you have to have stuck to your mirror.
Yeah,
it does look like one of those, but brilliant to see it in Monaco. Bit of a spiritual home for all us racing fans. So quite a fitting reveal for it as well. Interesting as well that they actually used the familiar F1 circuit and not a shortened circuit like they have done in previous years as well. This was the sixth race of the Formula E World Championship season, and it was Van Dorn that won as well.
Do you know what? I was going to text you before the show started. I want you to just say his name. Just say his name.
Van Dorn. No?
Oh, damn it! You got it so right.
Sorry. Oh, how dare me? How dare I? But no, he won his first race of the season, which was brilliant for his Mercedes team. Did some kind of great driving throughout it, used some great use of the energy management and also the attack mode as well, which I'm always a big fan of. I love seeing that in Formula E. He's had a couple of good poles positions so far this year, but couldn't convert them into wins. So he probably thought, I'm not going to go for the pole this time. I'm just going to win the race. And it kind of worked for him. So fair play. But yeah, the new Gen 3 race car is really, really smart. It'll be good to see how teams and the drivers develop and push this as the season goes on.
Yeah, I think it's great because obviously cash is being invested into it, which is always good. Monaco, I didn't watch it. I barely ever watch anything going on in Monaco. It sounds really bad, doesn't it? But it just, not for me at the moment. Stoffel Van Dorn, I've always got a soft spot for Van Dorn after being unceremoniously dumped back in F1. That's kind of how I feel about it. Don't know if I'm right, don't know if I'm wrong. Like you say, he'd had a bit of a tough start to the year. Performance is not translating into results, but he now leads that championship, and it would be great. It would be great to see him come out on top. Obviously, his teammate won it last year, so obviously
no pressure, mate.
No pressure, mate. But it's obviously quite a successful. They know what they're doing over there. Let's be honest. So there you go. Stoffel Van Dorn bringing home the win in Monaco, and a brand new third generation Formula E race car, Formula car. They call them Formula cars, which I find quite interesting. Released into the world for what will be season 9 next year. So do tell us what you think of the new Formula E car coming next year. But also, is Stoffel Van Dorn going to bring home? And he's always had a lot of talent. Is he going to bring home the world title? Yeah. He's quick in everything he's ever done. He was a bit unlucky in a rubbish McLaren when he was in F1. Is he gonna usher home a title? It's possible. But I mean, there's still a long way to go. There's still a long way to go in the Formula E season. But yeah, do tell us what you think.
Now, some more stuff from Is It Fast? Yay!
Formula theme. This weekend coming, I'm very excited about this, just so we're all clear. I'm going to get quite excitable.
So time for your annual bath again.
It really is. Yeah. I've been saving up that stank. Formula One is headed to the United States of America this weekend. In fact, they're already all there. So not to mention the W Series, which is kicking off this weekend as well. We'll have a chat about that in the coming weeks. But do make sure that you head to isitfast.co.uk, where we have an absolute boatload of W Series content written by the guys and girls who do an incredible job. So do make sure that you go over and type W Series into the search bar on the Is It Fast website. You can have a breakdown of the drivers who's driving this year, a couple of interviews with some of the drivers as well, including the reigning champion and some of the rookies that are coming on board for this year as well. Incredible stuff. Make sure you head over and read that while you're waiting for this season to start. Not long now. Couple of bits to just be aware of. Street Circuit, number 1, which is very, very, very exciting. So it's looking like it's going to be good. We're probably going to see a lot of influencers, and not that there's anything wrong with influencers, by the way. I make it sound bad when I say it. But there's going to be a lot of people on that grid walk who've got no idea what F1 has got to do with anything like the F1 in the US last year. So that'd be quite interesting to watch people wandering around without a clue. But the circuit looks pretty good.
Hopefully none of them get hit by a car this year.
Oh yeah, geez, but quite excited to see how it goes, because no one's ever raced there before. But have you seen this? The news that they faked a marina.
Oh really? No.
So if you're watching us, what you're seeing here is basically boats have been driven in and parked in a fake marina. To give it, obviously, a bit more of a Florida feel, which I think is fair enough. And they've installed fake water. So here we have, if you're watching us, you're seeing a Sky Sports reporter standing on the fake water that has basically been, essentially slotted in around the boats, which is just absolutely incredible. Surely just real water at this stage is easier.
Florida's a peninsula. It cannot be that difficult to get water.
There's so much water. But there we go. So I found that quite interesting in the build up to this week's GP. I think there's a lot of people online. And if I'm honest with you, the F1, some of the F1 community, particularly on Twitter, can be really harsh. And people are getting ready to hate this just for no good reason. I'm really excited about this. So as we head into it, Charles Leclerc is top of the standings. I'm waiting to be corrected. And ready to go. This is going to be really exciting. You know, it's back. There's not a huge amount of time difference, so you can actually watch it at home. This is going to be great. Yeah,
it really is. I do want to point out that the Sky Sports presenter stood on the water image. That is actually real water, and the reporter is actually Jesus. It's just been found out. Perfect.
There you go.
So you or I tried it. We'd just be boom, like up to our neck in it.
Yeah. Second coming. It's the second coming.
Perfect. I feel it does lose some points, the Grand Prix this weekend, because its official name is the Crypto.com Miami Grand Prix, which is a bit of a shame. 5th race of the season. We are breaking new ground, so nobody knows quite what to expect. Yeah, we've obviously had our practices and things like that, but under proper race conditions, it's going to be something else. So it's the first time. The circuit is really cool. It's the home of the Miami Dolphins, the NFL team, and it's right beside the Hard Rock Stadium as well. Yeah. Really, really cool track design for me. Lots of straights, some very, very tight turns on it. It kind of looks a little bit like a lobster's claw. And I do like a street race as well. What I would say is that the US is an absolutely vital market for the F1 to succeed in, hence why we've now got a second race in America, and next year we are going to have a third race with Vegas coming in. So F1 is massively treating this weekend as a vital part of the kind of the 23 races that we're going to see. And teams are getting involved. They are obviously creating their own Miami-themed brash merchandise. Lewis Hamilton's been on Good Morning America to help promote it. So it's clear that the sport is investing heavily in Miami to make it a success, which I don't have a problem with. What I would say is, though, some fans have been very vocal about their complaints about the cost of tickets. Have you heard this?
I've seen that they're going for quite a horrendous amount of cash.
A general admission ticket pass is costing $300, and that's just for the Friday.
Wow.
So that is a practice session. Let's not forget that. That's not even quality. So it's not going to be cheap there. And obviously with the area it's built in, it's not as affluent, hence they can dump a massive kind of racetrack in there and fake boats. So that's kind of difficult as well. A little bit kind of naive maybe of F1, but let's be honest, it's always going to be a rich person's sport. Let's not kid ourselves. Interesting to see for me this weekend if Mercedes have had any joy with the upgrades. Are they going to bring any relief to Russell and Hamilton? I think the respite weekend will do them some good, but that's probably not going to have solved the weight issues that they've been having. But come on, Stu, I'm going to put you on the line. Will it be Ferrari or Red Bull making the most of Miami?
I think it's hard to tell. Looking at the map, the track map. Red Bull has more straight line speed, and there's more opportunity for that Red Bull to use that speed. But then that said, you know, kind of up by, I don't know what the corners are called. I mean, they're all going to be called new things now. You know, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Ferrari. I think it's going to be Ferrari, and because it seems to me over the last few years, Charles Leclerc has got he's better at adapting to new tracks. I think that's what it's going to be. I don't think Verstappen will do as well. I don't know why. That's not based on anything. I just think, you know,
it's a hunch. That's fine.
Yeah, and look, I think Leclerc will throw it in a lot more because even though he's got the lead, I think he needs to win. Whereas Verstappen, you know, he knows how to win, so he might just play it easy. If he finishes top 3, top 5, great, fine, whatever. You know, I've done it. Haven't crashed out, haven't lost. So we'll see. Yeah, I think it'll be a Ferrari 1. I think it'll be Ferrari 1 and a Red Bull 2, and then whatever else.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. That's my opinion on it, I think. What about you?
Well, I was actually agreeing with you, and then you went the completely wrong direction with the actual prediction. I thought the straights are going to really, really help Red Bull, so I'm going Verstappen.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. You were right last time.
I was.
You were 100% right last time, and you were right the time before that. So fair play. But tell us, are you excited about the Grand Prix of Miami? It's coming to Miami.
We're allowed to talk about him yet.
I don't know. It's all a bit sketchy, isn't
Something
it?
there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're probably all right. But are you excited about the Grand Prix coming to Florida and Miami? Would you rather go to Miami to watch the Miami Dolphins or watch this? Tough call. Or is what's the betting on Ace Ventura coming out at some point? For our younger viewers and listeners, Ace Ventura was a well-known vet in the mid-90s. He helped all sorts of weird and wonderful things get done.
You've got to hope as well one of the bends is called like the Scarface bend or something like
It's
that.
gonna be so good. There's a lot of material. There's a lot of material that they can chuck for Miami. But yeah, let us know what you think in the comments.
Cat or dog? Summer or rain? Is it fast?
Probably shouldn't have started this section with a laugh. Aidan Moffat there driving the British Touring Car Championship for Laser Tools Racing. He is on the show, kind of. We do have to share a bit of sad news. It was announced yesterday that legendary Formula One driver Tony Brooks lost his life. He died at 90. So he had a great innings. He was one of the greats from the kind of silver golden age of Formula One in the 50s. He was apparently, I didn't know this, he was apparently known as the racing dentist because qualified dentist, which I thought was pretty cool. Dovetailed his studies in dentistry at the University of Manchester with the start of his racing career. So fair play, very very much a gentleman of driving there. Raced for BRM, made his debut for BRM in the 1956 British Grand Prix. He went on to drive for Vanwall in 1957 and 58 before driving for Enzo himself at Ferrari. And racing for that famous team. Came extraordinarily close to winning the world title in 1959, but was one of those incredible drivers that by just missing out on a world title, very much in the ilk of Sir Stirling Moss and a couple of the others. There he is riding Graham Hill's car there at Spa. Just wouldn't see it anymore. And he is the last of the Grand Prix winners from the 50s. He was the last to survive. So an incredible story. I recommend everybody reads the obituaries, which is unfortunate, but also an incredible life lived as well. So yeah, one of the last legends of that kind of golden era, sadly lost to his family, his friends, and obviously the sport as well. Tony Brooks there lost his life this week. And he's off to the motor circuit in the sky.
Yeah, it truly is. Even just kind of looking at some of the images there, it truly was a golden era. These guys were hard drivers. These were not easy machines. They were extremely dangerous, but look how beautiful they are as well. Absolutely fantastic. Widely known and acknowledged as one of the greatest F1 drivers of all time, despite not having that world championship as well. Won an incredible number of races in an extremely dangerous era. So our thoughts go out to his friends and family at this difficult time.
Yeah, absolute legend. Hard racer. But yeah, share your thoughts if you've ever met him or ever spoke to him or anything like that. I know he's quite active in the vintage scene, and incredible. But yes, another one lost, unfortunately. But I guess it happens. But do share your stories because I would love to read them. To be honest with you, saw some great stuff on social from people that were lucky enough to meet him and shared some incredible stories. So yeah,
Seemed like
definitely
a true gentleman. Yeah, as you said,
Yeah.
I saw quite a few of the stuff from the Goodwood people as
Yes.
well, which was
Yeah.
fantastic. I was slightly disappointed in his nickname. And when I heard kind of it, the racing dentist, I thought, is he someone who kind of went and knocked someone's teeth out at some point? But I'm
No.
clearly from the wrong. No, he was just a dentist. Yeah, fair enough.
Literally just a dentist. So there we go. Gone but will not be forgotten. Mark on the sport, indelibly there for generations to come.
The question that all petrol heads love to ask: C'est rapide? Is it fast? Ist schnell?
I mean, I could have picked those two better. News from Toyota or Toyota this week. It was broadly anticipated and has been confirmed over the last 7 days that the Toyota Supra is coming with a manual option. Automatic on release 3 years ago now. The Toyota Supra was released 3 years ago. That is absolute madness. I haven't seen an awful lot of them around. Do you own one? Tell us why. But they have released a manual version of this car now. So a couple of stats for you as the stick gets reinserted into the middle. 6-speed manual. It's going to have, you can basically combine it with the 335 brake horsepower 3-litre straight six engine that comes in the top step of the Supra range. It's been engineered, the gearbox has been engineered especially for the powertrain. So that means that the 254 brake horsepower 2-litre inline 4, which is a step down from that GR level, won't be available with the manual. So there is literally only one that you can have. The gearbox has been engineered, according to Toyota, to avoid a sluggish takeoff, with the final drive ratio shortened from the 3.15 of the automatic to the 3.46. Cool. Sounds great. Don't know what it means, but it must be good because Toyota are good at these things. Toyota claims that the result is both responsive and the gearing is appropriate for sports car performance. Well, you'd bloody hope so. The new transmission also reduces the car's overall weight by almost 40 kilograms. Just goes to show how heavy the automatic option is. But there you go. Purists can now have a manual version of the Supra. Not that anyone's really buying the Supra by the sounds of it, but there we go.
They might know that it comes with a lovely gear stick. Yeah, why not?
Maybe.
It does surprise me it's only taken 3 years for this to come out. They have done a lot of refreshing to the rest of the Supra range as well. All models are getting a retuned suspension, more vulcanized rubber in the front, a new kind of rear anti-roll bar.
My favorite kind of rubber.
Exactly. We can't make Spock jokes on Star Wars Day. That's terrible. But yeah, and also the shock absorbers are making a comeback as well. The current Supra, the 2-litre version, £47,000, 3-litre version, £55,000. So we're not quite sure what the new manual one's going to cost us. It looks like a little angry Ford Cougar on roid rage, and the front looks very kind of insecty. But I really, really like the black and tan leather interior on it. That looks very smart. Fair play to them. But it's funny how the world's changed, isn't it? Can you imagine 10 to 20 years ago telling us a sports car was eventually going to get a manual gearbox version? It's not that long ago you couldn't get one as an automatic.
Yeah. I mean,
weird how these things move on.
I do enjoy a manual gear. So in a Supra, yeah, you need one, just to feel connected to the drive.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Supra has done, I'm willing to be corrected. I've not looked at the numbers, but based on the fact that I have seen 3 Supras in 3 years out on the road, I don't think having a manual is going to change it. I think it was always part of the plan, I imagine. They've stuck it in there, I imagine, and they're just going to let this one sidle off to wherever it's going to be. But if you're interested, I reckon it's going to be 57 grand to start off with. That's what I reckon.
Yeah.
And that'll be that. And do you know what? But the thing is, I quite like the look of them. if I could get one on a decent monthly and I was looking into this kind of thing, great. I'd probably still rather have the Z4 that it's based on, and that says something. Great, fine. Well done, Toyota. Thank you very much. If you're interested in the Toyota Supra, then feel free to get yourself one with a manual. We can't tell you the price because A, they haven't told anybody. B, we haven't done our research appropriately. C, we don't care to tell you. Tell us in the comments which one it is.
We can't do everything for you, folks. Do some homework yourselves. Come on, guys.
Yeah, come on. I know you tune in to listen and watch the latest handpicked news live from the team from Is It Fast, but sometimes, very occasionally, we do half a job. All right? Half a job.
At least 51% of the time, we do as much work as we can be bothered to do.
Yeah. 100% of the time, we'll do 50% of the work.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Of course it does.
Yeah, it does. Move on to the next section.
Moving swiftly on.
We're about to talk about watches on Is It Fast.
Welcome to TikTok, the weekly show where we chat about watches, because what do we love more than cars? Beer.
Coffee, beer.
Beer, whiskey. No, it's probably watches. So thank you very much for tuning into TikTok. Do stick with us as we talk about something quite interesting. I struggled with the pronunciation of this, but I did get there in the end. But this is a very cool, and I'm going to make a prediction. This is probably more up your Strasse than my Strasse, but this is the Ochs und Junior Linemesser 1.22. The Ochs and Junior Linemesser 1.22 is a non-limited, non-customizable watch worn on a handsome black Cordura strap and retailing for 3,230 Swiss francs. It's Bauhaus in its design, right?
Yeah.
Now, I like Bauhaus stuff because I am a posho. Because I like all I like all that kind of stuff. I like Bauhaus and I like postmodernism. If anyone's interested, I like all that kind of stuff. Makes me a happy man when I go to Germany and Berlin. So this is, if you're listening, multicolored. If you're watching, probably the best way to watch TikTok. What do we think of this?
Yeah, described as a straightforward time and date watch by Ochs and Junior. Well, that's what I'll call it. Did I try hard enough there? Yeah. For me, so I'll describe it as well, just in case Stevie Wonder's tuning in. It's a dulled kind of chrome rim, a matted kind of black face on it. I really like the hour markings being on the even number positions, and the muted yellow tone is a really nice touch as well. The red second hand is very striking. The red dot that kind of circumnavigates the face is very, very cool. They kind of overdid it for me with the hour hands being blue. It starts to make the watch look a little bit play school for me. But it's kind of, for me, the watch that you would see at a modern art gallery gift shop. Very stylish in design, definitely a head turner piece. But if you don't care that it's Swiss, you will definitely overpay for its look. The strap appears to be a very kind of tight woven material and a metal pin buckle on it. It kind of looks like that belt that your dad had in the 70s, and that's kind of it.
And still has.
And still has it, yeah. I bet he does, actually. I wonder about this. As you correctly said, it is 3,230 Swiss francs, which roughly translates, when I put it into kind of the converter on Google, to £2,640, which is quite high. I definitely like it. It is a nice, simple, modern design twist, but at that price, it's a bit of a gimmick, and it's a no from me.
So, do we know why it's priced so high?
Showing my ignorance of kind of pretending to know about cars and watches, I have never heard of this make before.
No.
So I can't sit here and say, oh yeah, they share an office with Rolex over in Switzerland. This is the modern branch of them.
Yeah.
And if I've just hit the nail on the head there, I want someone to kind of message in and say, yes, you've done that. They are Rolex.
I mean, that would be
but
quite impressive.
it really would be. But it is really news to me. So I'm kind of lost on it a little bit. It's very simplistic. I do like the postmodern design. It is very smart. But yeah, they've got nothing here that makes you kind of see that wow factor.
No,
If you were out with a friend and they were wearing one, you say, "Oh, nice watch, mate. I like that." But I don't think they would be overly boastful about the cost on it.
yeah, which I quite like that in a watch company when it's, you know, you and I both in our collection we have watches where people have no clue what they are. We've paid decent money for them, and it's for us, and that's cool. I'm just looking at their website because, as we mentioned in earlier shows, sometimes our research is lacking. That's why you love it. That's why you tune in. But it looks pretty, like, it seems the whole thing is very, and by whole thing I mean the whole company. They have an ethos and they stick to it. It's at 3.5, or, you know, best part of 3,500 Swiss francs. It's cheaper than a lot of what they got. You're looking at 8,000 francs, 21,000 francs. I don't know, 2,400 francs here. So it's kind of in and there amongst. Yeah, it's in or there or thereabouts. It's, you're paying for obviously the time and effort that's gone into machining these and putting them together. I completely understand that, and the fact that they're Swiss. I think that's the only way. Yeah. But so made in laboratory, Dr. Ludwig Oeschlein. Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Have a little look about, everybody. Worth it. I've tickled my own fancy there. Probably should have done that earlier. But but I didn't. All right, I just didn't. But the Ochs und Junior Lena Messer 1.22, non-limited, non-customizable watch from this. What would you describe them as? A boutique Swiss watchmaker?
Yes, I think so.
There you go. Tell us what.
That's a fair description for me.
I think.
I do
fair.
like how they say, they kind of show off to say, it's non-limited and kind of you can't make any changes to it. Like, that's something to boast. Makes it sound like there's got to be thousands of them floating around, and there's no way you can make this look like it's just yours.
Yeah. I bet you one thing though.
Go on.
I bet it feels amazing.
Oh yeah, the movement on it will be awesome.
Yeah, I bet when you spin that crown, I bet there's such a satisfying, like, I bet it's great, and I bet that. What did you say? It was aluminium, was it? Is that what you said? Or
I think I just said metallic.
Yeah. Well, either way, I bet it feels really good, really good. And this is not a review. We're not, we can't slag it. We don't have it in our hands. But on price and appearance. On price, no. On appearance,
yes, probably
yes. Although not this one. I'd go for something else in their range. But overall, I quite like it. But based on price, and again, that's very subjective.
For me, if they were to stick to one color for the dial, the hour markings, things like that would work well, and then they could have 3 or 4 different ones. Just pick your primary colors. Yeah,
actually, there you go. If you're listening, there's an idea.
You're welcome.
There we go. Tell us what you think. Would it be on your Christmas list? Yay or nay?
Tune into Is It Fast live every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. GMT. You are welcome.
Oh, we're getting to that point in the show where we're going to have to bring it to a somewhat juddery landing into our final berth for the evening. But we like to end the show on something a little bit different. Something to either make you smile, make you cry, make you think, or make you wonder, what the hell are we doing as part of this human race? And this week, we got a belter. So you may have seen this, you may have not. But we all like to pretend that we are cars. On occasion, I think it's fair to say, we've all pretended
or
to be
lightsabers.
Or lightsabers, yeah. Do your best lightsaber. Oh,
There you go.
that's really
The
good.
action. Thank you.
That's really good.
It's amazing what happens when you work for yourself. You've got a lot of time in your hands.
That was incredible. I was not ready for that. May the 4th. Yes, all lightsabers. But every now and again, people like to pretend to be F1 cars. And because the F1 at Miami is round the corner, wrap your eyes and ears around this.
Potential threat from Daniel Ricciardo. Talking of which, the stewards have decided no further action. Daniel Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel. So some great impressions there of Formula 1 cars.
That was a fella. That was a fella. The 2018 F1 of Las Americas, so in Texas or whatever. And he found a microphone that picks up general ambience for the television and recorded himself. Now, for years, we knew this happened. But the video of the guy he took himself has just surfaced. Fair play to the commentators at the time who made reference to it, because that's, one of those, you have to just acknowledge that this guy's making the sounds, right?
It's brilliant. Yeah, I've not got a lot to say about this. It's just majestic in its nature. It speaks for itself. What I think is worth pointing out is this meow noise that he was doing went out on the global broadcast. So it didn't matter where on earth in the world that you were watching the F1 in 2018, you are hearing this guy. He's the hero we never knew we needed. But here he is. I don't know how Marvel are going to market this for his film. But fair play to it. The first sound he makes is a little bit like a TIE fighter. But he's kind of waited his entire childhood, his adolescence, and his adulthood for this moment. He saw his opportunity and he took it. And he's now affectionately known as the Meow Guy.
If you Google Meow F1 guy, this comes up.
Yeah, which is, and you highlighted it there. It genuinely kills me when you hear the commentator saying through gritted teeth, "Someone's doing a great impression there of an F1 car." It's basically code for "Get this idiot away from my microphone."
Yeah. Do you want to say it one more time?
Yeah, go on, please.
Potential threat from Daniel Ricciardo. Talking of which, the stewards have decided no further action. Daniel Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel. So some great impressions there of Formula 1 cars.
It's the look he gives his own camera. Absolutely kills me.
And fair play to him. Brilliant for marketing. Everyone knew it went out, and he's just held off for kind of 3-4 years, and he's come roaring back. Well done, mate. You are a legend. Meow, and forever.
Yeah. Absolute hero. But it is on that somewhat ridiculous note that we have to say goodbye. It is important to understand that you might strike this podcast down, but we will come back stronger than before. It is a pleasure, as always, to share airtime with you, our beautiful audience. You thought I was going to say you. Beautiful audience members. Thank you very much for watching or listening to us, whichever one you have chosen to do from wherever you are in the world. Make sure that you do follow us on your social media platform of choice. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast if you listen to it using your podcast delivery system of choice, to make sure that you catch us every single week, bar when we don't do it in between seasons, which is not very often. Make sure that you do tell us how you feel, what happened. Have you watched and listened to this? How have you felt about what we spoke about? Please do share your thoughts and feelings on that. But it is, alas, another week where I have to say goodbye from me.
And it's a very goodbye from me. Thank you once again for listening. Please tune in next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. But please remember, if you do get locked out of your car, just talk to the lock calmly. Communication is the key.
Good night.
I am here in Dubai for the 2021 XCAT World Championship.
Hey, Cameron Steele here, racing the 2022 King of the Hammers.
Welcome to TikTok, the show where we review things that go on your wrist and tell the time.
Everything took a creepy turn suddenly.